What happens when one of boxing's greatest legends meets the most polarizing figure in celebrity combat sports? The answer: a night that shook the MMA and boxing worlds to their core. How did Jake Paul pull off the unthinkable against Mike Tyson? Stick around to unravel this shocking upset and its wild aftermath. The world of combat sports stood still on a night that no one could have predicted. Jake Paul, the YouTube star turned boxer, stepped into the ring with none other than Mike Tyson, one of boxing's all-time greats. From the moment the fight was announced, fans and analysts alike were divided. Paul, with his brash personality and growing skill set, faced the challenge of matching up against Tyson, even at 57 years old. Was this fight a one-sided spectacle or a clash of old-school grit and new-school audacity? The circumstances surrounding the Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson fight were as intriguing as the match itself, setting the stage for one of the most polarizing events in combat sports history. On one side stood Mike Tyson, a name synonymous with raw power and intimidation, even decades after his prime. Despite being 57 years old, Tyson carried the weight of his legendary career into the ring. His past glories as the youngest heavyweight champion, his fearsome knockout record, and his iconic status made him a symbol of traditional boxing's enduring legacy. For many fans, Tyson embodied the spirit of old-school combat. On the other side was Jake Paul, a YouTube sensation who defied all expectations by transitioning into professional boxing. Paul represents a new era where social media influence and entertainment value are often as significant as skill in the ring. Critics dismissed him as a sideshow, but his meticulous training, surprising victories, and ability to generate massive viewership forced the combat sports world to take him seriously. Paul's rise blurred the lines between sport and spectacle, drawing in younger audiences who might never have engaged with traditional boxing. This fight wasn't just a clash of two individuals, it was a meeting of two vastly different philosophies. Tyson represented tradition, grit, and the golden age of boxing, while Paul embodied disruption, modernity, and the viral era of combat sports. Their meeting in the ring symbolized the collision of past and present, creating a cultural event that transcended the sport itself. From the opening bell, it was clear that this wouldn't be the explosive fight fans had imagined. Jake Paul came in with a calculated strategy, displaying discipline that few expected. Analysts have predicted that Tyson's power and experience would overwhelm Paul. The odds, heavily in Tyson's favor, reflected this belief. Yet, what unfolded was a carefully measured performance from Paul, who seemed to fight with both respect and caution. His tactics involved controlling the pace, using his reach, and avoiding Tyson's legendary power punches. Tyson, though slower than in his prime, showcased flashes of his iconic style. He bobbed and weaved, landing a few solid blows, but his mobility and endurance were clearly limited. The crowd, expecting fireworks, grew restless as the fight turned into a strategic chess match. And then it happened. The unthinkable. When the final bell rang, the judges delivered a decision that left fans stunned. Jake Paul had outpointed Mike Tyson. The immediate reaction was a mix of disbelief, outrage, and awe. Social media exploded with opinions. Some fans celebrated Paul's victory, praising his growth as a fighter. Others lamented what they saw as a sad moment in boxing history. Fighters like Julian Marquez expressed disappointment, saying, "This fight made me sad." While UFC's Sadiq Youssef noted, "At least Mike gets to go home relatively damage-free." It was a bittersweet outcome that no one seemed fully prepared for. What made this upset so significant? For one, Mike Tyson's legacy loomed large over the event. Even at 57, his name carried the weight of decades of dominance and resilience. A loss to a relative newcomer like Jake Paul felt, to many, like a passing of the torch, or a blow to the purity of boxing. Paul's victory sparked intense debates among purists, with some accusing him of turning boxing into a circus act. Others, however, argued that Paul's preparation and execution proved he was more than just a YouTube boxer. Jake Paul's rise has always been polarizing. Critics argue that his fights against aging legends or inexperienced opponents don't make him a legitimate boxer. Yet, Paul's ability to draw massive audiences and sell pay-per-view events is undeniable. This fight broke records for crossover events, proving once again that celebrity involvement, while controversial, brings new eyes to combat sports. Is this trend good or bad for the sport? That's a question that continues to divide fans. This fight's build-up only added to the drama. Press conferences were filled with verbal sparring, with Paul's trademark trash talk going up against Tyson's calm, confident demeanor. The weigh-ins were a spectacle of their own, with fans dissecting every detail, from Tyson's still impressive physique to Paul's youthful energy. The betting market shifted constantly, with some fans daring to place money on Paul, despite the overwhelming odds favoring Tyson. Training camps for both fighters painted a fascinating picture. Tyson, though far removed from his prime, trained with a mix of old-school methods and modern conditioning. Reports hinted at unconventional techniques designed to sharpen his reflexes and preserve his stamina. Jake Paul, on the other hand, brought in elite trainers and sparring partners, focusing heavily on strategy and defense. The contrast between youth and experience was evident not only in their preparation, but also in their execution on fight night. One of the most talked about aspects of the fight was Paul's restraint. Unlike his previous bouts, where he showcased aggressive knockout power, Paul appeared to hold back against Tyson. Was this out of respect for the legend, or was it a calculated move to ensure a safe and clean victory? Fans and analysts continue to debate this point. Conor McGregor summed it up with a sarcastic tweet, calling the fight a 16-minute spar in sparring gloves. The MMA community's reaction was particularly fierce. Dylan Dennis, never one to mince words, called the fight a money grab and criticized Tyson for giving Paul the satisfaction of a win.
Before his fight against Mike Tyson has been released,
a more pragmatic view, acknowledging that the fight was more about business than pure competition. Regardless of opinion, one thing was clear: this event had everyone talking. Where does this leave both fighters? For Jake Paul, this victory cements his status as a major player in the world of crossover boxing. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for all the latest updates and analysis from the world of MMA, boxing, and combat sports.